Hi, I'm Christy from Homeschooling in Progress. In this video, I'm going to share with you what we've chosen to include in our April morning basket to give you some ideas on what you might want to include in your own. So let's check it out. So our morning basket time usually lasts probably about an hour to an hour and a half each day. Certainly, if you have younger kids, you may only want to go up to about 30 minutes, but my kids are fourth and sixth grade, so we can handle a little bit more. My 3-year-old kind of comes and goes with what he wants to do, and the rest of the time he does just some little activities I have for him on his own. Okay, so we begin each of our morning basket days with a prayer time, and we currently are doing just a decade of the rosary during that time. Then we move on to some things that we do each day. These take maybe 3 or 4 minutes total, so it's a very quick time. But we have our saint of the day, and the flashcards here have 100 cards in them, and they have a picture of the saint on the front, and then on the back it tells some fun facts about the saint and a little bit about that saint's life. And so we'll read through that together just for some additional knowledge of the of people in our faith. And then we'll move on to our vocabulary word of the day. We have the vocabulary words with cartoons, and each page has the definition of the word, a link to remember the word, and then the caption underneath the picture with some sentences underneath that use the word in a sentence. And so what I will do is I will cover up the definition, read the caption to the boys and show them the picture, and they try to figure out what the word is. And then I'll read the rest of the sentences so they can hear it used in a sentence. And then after every 10 words, they will do a quiz. And usually my sixth grader can get all of this correct with the definition and using it in a sentence. My fourth grader usually can get the top part done. And I'm pretty happy with that. And so it's just a very quick couple minutes that we spend each day on this. And the retention of these words is amazing. They still remember words that we did at the very beginning of this book. And so I'm very happy with how well it's worked for us. After we do our vocabulary word of the day, then we move into some memory work. Right now, we're just working on memorizing our Catholic prayers, and so they have binders with all the prayers in them. And then once we finish that, which we are just about done, we should finish up in April, then we'll probably move on to memorizing poetry or something. After the memory work, which takes about 5 minutes, then we move into some geography drill. And again, this is a very short time, so these first few things that we do maybe only take about 20 to 25 minutes of our entire time, if that. So then for the geography, we have been doing different continents each month. This month we'll be working on South America. And what they do for that is I have a copy of the map with the countries labeled. And so they will study 3 of those countries and where they are. And then they will try to put them onto the blank map. And I put these in a page protector so that we can just use dry erase markers and erase them each day. Then the next day they will start with the blank map, try to find those 3 countries again and label them, and then they can check their work and try to memorize 3 new ones from the labeled map. And we just continue that each day. And then by the end of the month, they really know these very well. After the geography drill, then we move into something that we just tend to do once or twice a week. And so those are going to be more of our enrichment, like art and music. And then we also have a little bit of a math supplement that we do on Mondays. So we'll read from The Life of Fred, which we are up to the ebook. It starts with A and goes alphabetically. So we are on Edgewood. And all of these are a continuing story about a 5-year-old college professor named Fred, and just goes on about his life. It is a living book, and so it's very entertaining. And we will just read through a chapter, and it talks about different types of math just throughout naturally in the chapter. And then there's a your turn to play. So the kids will write down their answers that I read to them on a scrap piece of paper, and then we'll go over the answers as well. And then sometimes there are some additional practice, addition or subtraction problems for them to work on as well. Also on Mondays, we have our Squilt live music classes, and these are live online courses We have 2 live classes a month, and you can choose Monday afternoons or Thursday afternoons. We'd like to do ours on Monday, and this is something that actually is in the afternoon, but I do include it in our morning basket because this is where I put all of our enrichment materials. So even though it's not in the morning, I still count it. Now, with the music class, Miss Mary leads the class, so I pretty much just turn on the computer for the kids, print these little sheets that she gives us out, and then I get to sit back and relax while she teaches. And the papers that she hands out, you can print what you want of them, but they have usually like a little bit of a background about the what we're going to be learning about. In the past, we've done musicals, we've done women composers, jazz, lots of fun things that the kids have really gotten a kick out of learning all about. This month in April, we are doing ballets, and so Swan Lake will be the first one that they do. And then they also have, just some different things about the music that we will listen to. They get a chance to write things about what they're hearing, what instruments they hear, how they feel when they are listening to it, and then they can also draw what they're hearing as they listen to the piece. Usually, they do listen to it at least a couple of times each week for during the class. And then there also a lot of times is something for them to color. So again, something nice for them to do while they are listening to the music. And then at the end, they have a quiz that they can do. And this is where they can put their answers online, through a chat, and they really like doing that. Kids love being able to use the chat and to, be able to type on the computer. So they really like that part too. And so that's something that we do. Every other Monday is the live lesson, and then on the other lessons, on the not live days, we might do some just other music, or we might do some archived classes. And then for the rest of the week, I usually spend maybe about 3 days doing our art history. You certainly don't have to do it that often, but we really like art, so we try to include it as much as we can. And this is part of the studio membership. We've been doing this for several months now and really, really enjoy it. Each week, I receive a PDF that I can either print out or just read online. And it has so much information about the artist and their works of art. And it includes, looking at the art closer, and it explains things that you might want to point out to the kids. We can tie in like geography and nature study and just different other topics for school in with the art. And then at the end of the week, they also have a your turn where they get to create the art, usually in some kind of style of what we've been learning that week through the artist. And this is just one week's work of all the information that we receive. This was from March. I haven't gotten the April ones yet. But there is so much here. There's information about the artist. There's information about, things that help them create the art. And also looking deeper at the art about how they created it, what techniques they used. Looking at the color and the techniques and the textures and the patterns that they used. Things that we should notice. It'll, tell you, look at this, notice that. And so these are things, I just read this to the kids as it is. It is so easy just to open and go. And the materials that they use for their projects are always things that you just use around the house. So it makes it very easy to just, kind of print and go, or open up your computer and go. But it is a lot of information that they get to learn about art. Then towards the end of our morning basket, we do nature study. And in nature study, we just basically choose a different topic each week and learn a little bit about it. It's a very low-key study. Usually on Mondays, we'll take a nature walk. And then throughout the rest of the week, I might read a book or two about the topic. We might write what we've learned about it in our nature journals, and perhaps maybe do an activity or two. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's really just kind of what the topic is. In April, we're going to try to do the frogs study that we never got to in March. So we'll see if we get to it in April. If we also have time after that, I have some books on ducks and ponds that we might also want to do to kind of continue on with the little theme of animals and ponds. And then after our nature study, we always finish our morning time with a read aloud. And I choose a different chapter book each month and read about a chapter a day, depending on how long it'll take us to get through the book through the month. This month we are reading The Green Ember, which I am very excited about. We've had this book for a while and I just haven't ever chosen it to do as our read aloud until now. And so I'm looking forward to it. And I also decided for this to get the morning time plans from pambarnhill.com. And in these plans, you really don't even have to have anything else that I've showed you in your morning basket if you use these plans, because the plans basically have everything you need in them. We're going to kind of use both. And so for these morning time plans, I'm going to use the picture study. There's some stained glass windows that they're going to study. I love stained glass windows, so I wanted to make sure I included that in a study. We may include some music, maybe on our off weeks of not having our live lessons. And then we also have some nature study. So we may or may not get to our frogs. We'll try to. But the nature study along with this book has rabbits and some hawks and wolves. And so we will study those as well. Also, the plans come with some memory works, and then there are some lesson plans that you can print out. I chose to print out the loop schedule. There's also a schedule that you can use for each day. So if you only used your morning time plans as these for your morning basket, then you might want to do it that way. But since I'm going to be kind of picking and choosing, I'm just going to do the loop schedule. So hopefully seeing everything that we've added to our April morning basket can give you some ideas on what you can include in your own. Thank you for watching, and happy homeschooling.